What's always portrayed unrealistically in movies? Giving birth. The baby's always all clean and pretty looking already. And 5 months old. Your username goes so well with your comment, haha. When a teacher/professor only gets to the main point of his lesson/lecture right before the bell rings, yeah, all they have to do to add realism is cut away while the class do their assigned work. When people are decapitated, movies make it so smooth and like a clean straight cut. In reality, it only took one witnessing of a fatal car accident to realize how badly inaccurate it's portrayed in films. Pretty much anything to do with the military. And traveling. Guns, but since everyone has already said guns, horses, like neighing, constantly, horses are pretty quiet and they especially don't whinny, while in a full fucking gallop. I'm also confused when a horse on the screen is neighing but the mouth isn't moving at all. I've taken friends to the stable before and they've seen horses actually whinny and are surprised the mouth, nose, head and belly move when the horse neighs. I will say, it's gotten a little bit better recently. Computers. In fairness, it's hard to make it interesting or sexy for movies. They should start getting models to drape themselves over the monitor to make it sexier for movies. Doctors never walk patients to the exit in a wheelchair upon discharge. They're too busy. Nurses don't either. Typically it's a volunteer or family that wheels the patient out of the hospital. Other than that, security will escort an unruly patient to the sidewalk and threaten to call the police if they don't leave. Grey's Anatomy drives me nuts with this regarding all of the duties the surgeons do. Driving and looking at the passenger while conversing. Gives me anxiety to see that. I want the character driving to keep their eyes on the road. People being killed. As Ed Kemper put it, I stabbed her, but she didn't fall dead. They're supposed to fall dead, they're supposed to go oh and fall dead. I'd seen it in all the movies, right? It doesn't work that way. When you stab somebody, they leak to death. Anything to do with hunting. The clothing is wrong for their targeted prey and rarely matches the style of hunt. The hunters will have differing firearms/archery equipment that would never be used together. They always have some form of call, usually a duck call, which they have no idea how to use properly. And they almost always just walk through the woods talking until they look up to see their quarry right in front of them in the open. They then pull up their firearm with the worst possible form and shoot. It's all so unrealistic that it pretty much ruins any movie I see it in. All hunters dress and act like Minnesota rednecks wearing their Filson plaid and stormy chroma hats. How the dude with no friends is this handsome actor that looks nothing like the character they're playing, or if the outcast actress is really just a hottie with a bad hair day. Realistically, we look worse than that. Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher. He was described as a tall, kinda scary, war-torn looking fella, who is quite intelligent and resourceful. What we get is short, Tom Cruise, who normally looks like he can't read. What passes for romantic gestures in movies is sexual harassment in real life. Wait, so I can't keep flirting with a girl who's not interested in my advances until she accepts it? Bond. James Bond. Cars seem to explode on impact. Also, people dying. In movies it's always clean and nice. There's a nice final word and a peaceful passing. In reality it's horrible, slow, painful and a big mess. Greater than cars seem to explode on impact. This reminds me of a friend. She said she and her boyfriend were in New Zealand. Boyfriend was driving a rental car. They get into an accident and the car flips over onto its roof. They're upside down. They both panic and scramble to get out of the car as fast as possible. From watching movies, they thought all cars explode into a ball of fire at even the slightest bump. The movie 21 Jump Street parodied this perfectly. https://u2.b/vn2dosqnc t=12. They got out and watched from a distance. The car did not explode. They were relieved but kinda disappointed. Haha. There's one episode of Doctor Who where basically the aliens had rigged the car the Doctor was in to drive into the canal. The doctor managed to break the device by overloading it, then leapt out of the stationary car, got down and braced himself. There was just a little puff of smoke and a few sparks. Germany. It's either jolly stereotype Bavaria or a grey and grey rainy Berlin with people wearing too much leather and the weather always being shit. Getting shot in the shoulder. My anatomy teacher used to rant and rave about this. The amount of nerves you have in the shoulder leading into your arm make it so that if you get shot in the shoulder you're mostly likely not moving your arm again for a while. But in the movies they put some gauze on it and are off hunting bad guys again, no problem. People getting knocked out for ages and being fine, instead of waking up after the 4 hours sleepy time with only 6 brain cells still firing. This. But, really, all injuries are so obviously fake within 2 minutes. Heroine gets slammed into solid concrete or brick or block or iron or steel or pavement, really, anything being slammed into, and just shakes it off? No. People just throw themselves through windows and walk it off like it's absolutely nothing? That sex is enjoyable the first time, both people know what they're doing, and totally not awkward at all. A family breakfast, where everybody is all happy and cheerful. Or where the main character only takes one bite and then has to leave. Right. I'm gonna sit down and enjoy these waffles, pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, orange juice and milk. Fuck work. I'll be late and with a full belly, the groceries in one brown paper bag with a baguette sticking out of it, lol. Guns shoot underwater, tanks are invincible, dying is extremely quick and peaceful, and the antagonist's army is bad at aiming/shooting or has bad equipment. I liked how they addressed the underwater shooting thing in John Wick 3. The bullets just went a couple of feet. Money. Hollywood families never seem to worry about getting time off, paying for mortgages, etc., at least not consistently. Guns. There's never any recoil. And every single gun seems to take the same ammo. Oh, look, henchman number 2 has some .357 rounds in his pockets. Better just pop them into my SIG 365. This is more true of video games. In movies ammunition is never an issue until it's dramatically appropriate. Ironically, movie making. I don't know why, but when they're filming a movie in universe, it's always much different to how movies are actually filmed in real life. How interesting the courtroom is. Objection. I'm going to allow this. How easy it is to find parking. Legit, everything in movies is so seamless. No red lights, no wait for a table at a restaurant. The service is always perfect too, with like no wait for the food. As someone who once worked serving, it can really break immersion. Well, there was that one episode of Seinfeld. According to my mom, having multiple personalities. I wasn't even sure if my mom was still dealing with it, but she recently told me she is. She's been ashamed of it most of her life because people see what they see in movies and either don't believe her or they treat her like a crazy person. I've wanted to ask her about it for years, but she only recently opened up about it and said she feels comfortable talking about it. From the outside she seems totally normal and the personalities hide themselves really well when they want to. She's never been violent or had crazy episodes. She does get more down and emotional with a specific personality, but she acts like anyone else otherwise. Only my dad, who went to counseling with her a lot, knows when she's not herself or when she's transitioning. Any high school setting. While it is a TV show, I feel American Vandal portrays high school perfectly emo. Almost any high school setting. Hospital dramas need more filling out the paperwork for 6 hours. Probably cop dramas, too. Animals. Especially in horror movies. The Shallows gets me the worst. You expect me to believe this girl outswam a 60 miles per hour great white? You expect me to believe this fish holds a grudge, for some reason, and stalks this woman for days on end while ignoring the food source in front of it? Stop with the shark misinformation, man, it's killing them. CPR, no one even breaks a sweat, or a rib for that matter. Plus the technique is always wrong and the success rate for CPR is shown to be much higher in movies compared to real life.